Hello, hello, hello. It's Martin here with your Ask Martin Anything. In theory, property related stuff, but as we've expanded out the possibilities, it could be anything, as indeed it says on the tin. Roy Pavitt. Hello, Roy. Sorry, a bit late to the party today. Welcome all, anytime you like. In your career on which you were here, what was your favourite day's work and what makes you think she's a witch? Well, second part of the question, what makes you think she's a witch? Because she weighs the same as a duck. And there's a logic to that, which you have to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail to work out. But it is quite simply surreally brilliant. Wish You Were Here was a travel show presented by myself and Judith Chalmers and various others. And yeah, it was a bit of a good gig. So I had 8 years presenting that, travelling the world, doing travel reports. I was like, wow. Favourite day's work wasn't actually on Wish You Were Here, because I used to be a travel writer for Woman magazine. I was their travel editor, actually. And my favourite day's work ever was not doing a travel piece, but I was asked by the features department to go and test ice cream. So I had to go to 4 different seaside resorts and try out their ice cream and then write about it. I think the winner was something called Cadwallader's in a Welsh resort. I can't remember which Welsh resort it was. Maybe you know. Cadwallader's ice cream. I remember thinking at the time, it does not get better than this. I've just been paid to spend a day eating ice cream. So Roy, I think that's my answer to that question. Nick Rook, hi. Hi Martin. Did or have you given Dion Dublin any tips about property to buy or anything else about them? Dion doesn't need any tips. I've given him as many tips about property as he's given me about football. Christine Dand. Hello, Christine. Our neighbour is planning a 12-foot extension right across the back of her property, which will impinge on our sea views. He says he doesn't need planning permission as it's within permitted development. Please, could you advise the best place to check this would be? So, yeah, permitted development does allow you to extend your property. However, I think there's caveats in that, which in your circumstances, if it was detrimental to the value of your property, I think you would have a case for putting in some kind of complaint. Now, the first thing they should be doing is talking to you, because you don't want to have neighbourly disputes. And I know this sort of thing can cause you so much upset and worry, and that's bad. First people to start with would be the local planners. Explain the circumstances, take lots of pictures and try and just explain the circumstances and see what they say. If all else fails, build a 2-story extension on your place next to his 12-foot extension and you can peer over his extension, get your sea views back. Hi Martin, do you know anything about a company or other similar companies who suggest they can sell your home in 7 days, considering moving on too good to be true? No, not necessarily. There are companies out there who will make offers for your properties or property and offer you quick deals. Now, of course, they come with a huge caveat, which is that these people will be doing it largely to sell those properties on or refurbishment. So they'll be wanting to get them at pretty low prices. My concern is that the legal process takes longer than 7 days, and you need to instruct your solicitor to make sure that that doesn't cause a problem. Theoretically, the buyer's questions are normally more than the seller's questions, because you want to know, if you're a buyer, things about, rights of way and planning permissions and covenants and local authority searches, etc. They always take longer than that. So the reality is they're probably going to not offer you what you would get if you hung out, and you definitely need to check out their credibility. So you will need to have a solicitor on your side. But if you're desperate for the money and you want to get it done quick, but I would, especially in the current market, just try the normal market. It's moving pretty quick. Felicity Richardson. Hi Felicity. What are you going to do today if you're not working now the shops have reopened? Do you have a first shop in mind? Oh, you know what? It's just that feeling of walking down the high street, isn't it? With the shops actually open. So no, just browsing. In fact, I found myself in the sort of shop I would never, ever go in, just because I could. And it was like, oh wow, I'm just wandering around this shop and I don't want anything from it, but I'm just loving the fact that I can. So no, just shopping in general. Alexander Webber. Hi Alexander. Dear Martin, we really enjoy watching you and Holmes Under the Hammer from the Pied Piper town of Hamelin in Germany. Have you ever been to Germany? And if so, did you have a nice time? Well, I did, yes. I went to Germany, actually. It's one of my first ever, in fact, was it my first ever foreign trip? Because I had a pen friend in Germany called Stefan. Now, here's the thing. I haven't. Do you remember, maybe at school when you were growing up, they had these things called pen friends that you just filled in some kind of random form, and then some random period of time later, you got an address of somebody. It was normally in France or Germany or Italy, and then you literally wrote and posted in envelopes and posted off in airmail or whatever to this person, and then you started kind of like backwards and forwards correspondence. And I ended up having a German pen friend. And I actually went to Germany to visit him. He was called Stefan Bick. I hadn't heard of Stefan for 40 years. And I tried to track him down a little while ago. And I couldn't. So I actually wrote to the address, which I still had in my head. And lo and behold, 3 days after I posted this letter, this was a few weeks ago, I get a phone call. And it was Stefan and his brother Matthias saying, hi. We haven't heard from you in 40 years. No, we heard from you. This was very good. And it was lovely. So they were in Kassel in Germany, and in West Germany. And it was really, really nice. So, yeah, so I went to Germany. And then I went back with my mate. And we went to try and find the castle that featured in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And we found it. And it's actually Castle Neuschwanstein in Bavaria, home of the Barons. It was really good. And so, yes, Germany's great. And I haven't been to the Oktoberfest, but I've been to Munich. Yeah, it's a great country if you've never been. Kirst, hi Kirst. Our direct neighbours have put up a sale sign today for far more than we've had ours valued at a couple of months ago. But theirs is a much smaller plot, dated and a funny layout. What's going on there? Well, the property market's moving quickly. The most important thing is, have they sold it at that price? Because if they had, you need to revalue your house. You know what? The amount they actually get is what's key. So watch that. Bethan G. Hi, Bethan. What is your favourite exotic animal? Well, I have to say, I love a chameleon. Now, I can't imagine they're the most friendly pets to have. But I just think they just are so interesting. And the way that, I can't do it, obviously, one eyeball moves in one independent of the other eyeball. And they're just fantastic looking creatures. They seem to have a bit of a smile. Now, clearly they're not smiling. But I don't know. You see, I don't know. I really don't know. But they look like they're smiling. And then they're all freaky deaky. And I'm not sure how intimate you could get. I'm not sure how cuddly they are. I think they're great. So probably a chameleon. That's a great slogan, wasn't it? Oh, that's what it says on the tin. It must be brilliant to be an advertising executive and to come up with something that just slips into common use, like Ron Seal's "It does what it says on the tin." Yeah, or the person, I don't know. It must have been one of those sort of meetings when you just sort of somebody somewhere on Compare the Market said market sounds a bit like meerkat, and then this whole unbelievably successful campaign thing where they use meerkats to sell insurance products. I mean, how's that work? Somebody hopefully got a big bonus for that one. That said, I don't think it always works like that. Apparently the person who came up with Strictly to Come Dancing as a TV format was just working for the BBC at the time and got a box of chocolates for their efforts. La-di-da, if it had been Simon Cowell, you can imagine, it would have been a lot more money. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So that's it for part 1 of this week's Ask Martin Anythings. Make sure you like this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with part 2 in a few days' time. Have a good few days.